أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه وله وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد, we continue Surah An-Nur, and we are today with verse number 27, inshallah. Verse number 27. And today is Wednesday, the 23rd of Jumada, the second of Jumada, 23rd, which is correspondent to December 25, 2024. And the Jumada, 23rd of 1446 Hijri. This section of Surah An-Nur talks about the etiquettes of al-istidhan, seeking permission to enter somebody else's property or to enter the room of one's parents. Allah Azza wa Jal is saying, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تدخلوا بيوتا غير بيوتكم حتى تستأنسوا وتسلموا على أهلها ذلكم خير لكم لعلكم تذكرون إن لم تجدوا فيها أحدا فلا تدخلوها حتى يؤذن لكم وإن قيل لكم ارجعوا فارجعوا هو أزكى لكم والله بما تعملون عليم ليس عليكم جناح أن تدخلوا بيوتا غير مسكونة فيها متاع لكم والله يعلم ما تبدون وما تكتمون. It's first part of etiquette of seeking permission here. So you who believe, do not enter the houses other than yours, somebody else's houses other than yours, unless you feel welcomed and you say salam. We'll talk about that in a minute. For the people who are there, this is better for you, so you remember. If you don't find anybody there, so don't enter the house until you are given permission. And if you are told to go back, don't come now, don't go back. This is more purifying for your souls. Allah knows what you do not know, or Allah knows what you know. Allah knows what you do. There's no restriction on you to enter houses that it is not habitable, that's not inhabited, there is nobody living there. House which is open, that you have something in it that you need, and Allah knows what you're hiding and what you are open about. Buyut is plural of bayt, residence. والبيت من البيتوتة, where you spend the night. مبيت وبيات وبيت, and the place people, طبعا you stay during the day, but why it is mentioned during the night? Because the night is where everybody sleeps, where everybody put their guard down, when everybody relaxes, and that's privacy. It is like the salah called ركعة, والركعة ركوع, والركوع is part of the ركعة, والركعة, but the ركعة is called ركوع, وهكذا. بيت is the مسكن, or where you have second, you stay in. وتستأنسوا, الاستئناس you seek permission. أنس you don't feel alone. That is why we are called إنس والجن. الإنس means they are feeling safe with the existence of each other. There are other people. You live on an island by yourself, you go crazy. You need أنس, إنس. تستأنسوا you seek permission. That's when you seek permission, people are not afraid of you. Now you see somebody like on your Porsche or on your door cam, or somebody coming toward you, you don't know who's that. But when he says Assalamu alaikum, I'm this, or he wearing a certain uniform or something like that, then you feel status, feel safe. And if but somebody coming like, and you know them, you know them. Somebody comes and said, "Hey, how are you doing, man?" It's gonna, يعني, safer. That's تأنيسون. تسلموا على أهلها. يعني when you are outside the house, you say, "السلام عليكم." أدخل. Most of the houses at all times did not have doors. They had curtains. Most of the houses at all times, they had what? Curtains. That's why you find some narrations that don't look into the houses, because maybe the wind blow the curtain and there is a woman in there not wearing something or stuff like that. But those are issues. They did not have doors necessarily. They were poor houses made of mud, to make doors that need carpentry and it needs many and other things. So they didn't have like luxury. And they didn't have doors. That's why you say, can I enter? If you so told, yes, come in, take the curtain and enter. It's like now the house, the door doesn't have any lock on it. In some cultures like that, they don't lock their doors. Even here in the United States, in the countryside, until recently, people did not lock their doors. They were feeling safe with each other and all that. ذلكم خير لكم, يعني better for you than entering without seeking permission. Because you don't know. Person think you're an enemy and they might attack you or kill you or something like that. لعلكم تذكرون, يعني so you find admonition and you understand the lesson and all of that. If you don't find anybody there, it means nobody answered you. ولم تجدوا فيها أحدا, يعني nobody responded to you. So what is the assumption? That nobody there. You don't say, oh, I know they are there, but they are not answering me. لا. You right, assume that nobody's there. That's why Allah said, فإن لم تجدوا فيها أحدا, يعني إن لم تجدوا فيها أحدا يرد عليكم. And you did not find anybody who responded to you. Because Allah talking about permission. For permission, you seek permission means somebody give it to you or reject it. But what if they're quiet? They don't want to reject, they don't want to accept. And they don't want to tell you, لا, don't leave, and they don't want to tell you come in. That's in the middle, يعني. فإن لم تجد, you have to assume that since you're not giving the permission, nobody responded, okay, nobody would be there. يعني ده always assume good, يعني. فلم تجدوا فيها أحدا فلا تدخلوا. Don't enter, يعني. Unless somebody give you permission. And somebody, maybe they are not there, and somebody saw you there, so they send somebody and they tell him to enter, I'm coming. مثلا, right? So that can be. وإن قيل لكم ارجعوا فارجعوا. يعني if somebody told you go back, you go back. معلش, now is not time. This will become like a little bit more intimidating or something. But we do that on the phone, for example. Can I come see you مثلا tomorrow? لا, tomorrow I'm busy. After tomorrow. We do that. That's Islamic character. Before there was no phones and you knocking on my door. ويعني people القراطيين, يعني our village all the time, people just show up. They come and knock at the door. Your door is open. السلام عليكم يا شيخ, and they come in. صح؟ If somebody knock on the door and you tell them دلوقتي, that become a problem. It's like an insult. And actually, I remember I did that when I was young, يعني. And I was like in the middle school. And a group of people came and they were like شيوخ كده, beards and all that. To ask about my father, يعني الشيخ موجود. I told him he's sleeping. They said, wake him up. I said, no. Come later, inshallah. They said, how come, يعني? I said, يعني Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Quran, وإن قيل لكم ارجعوا فارجعوا هو أزكى لكم. Intimidating, and then they complained to my father later on and all that. He told them, but that's true though. Why you preach thing and then you feel the culture here sometimes play a big role, يعني. You have to be also wise. يعني. When I was young, I didn't. I thought that if I'm living the ideal life, like any ayah in the Quran, huh? like one time a person, and I'm holding the mushaf, and he is sitting on the street, and he said, show me the mushaf. I said, لا يمسه إلا المطهرون. يعني I am impure, I am like this, like people become very emotional يعني. But I was in that stage of my life innocent يعني, right? يعني like anybody say anything, I apply the ayah of Quran for them. But that needs hikmah طبعا, especially if somebody older, somebody respected, somebody, and you have to understand the culture, whom you're talking to, what is their background, what you say in Arabic not necessarily applicable in English. The way people understand here in America is not necessarily the way in Egypt. All this comes with age, like if you are told to go back, go back. Sometimes one of the ways that people put the timing, like if you come into my office or something like that, this times of operation, consultation time. Sometimes make an application to book a time. That's still then also. And there are ways now to apply this in modern ways, and people accept. So you have to always explore what is a modern, what is relevant, and what is relative. And also Allah Azza wa Jalla said ذلكم خير لكم وأطهر. يعني if you are told to go back, فذلكم أزكى لكم, better than you wait outside. فالله عز وجل knows. Then there is no restriction on there is no sin if you enter بيوتا غير مسكونة. يعني ايه بيوتا غير مسكونة؟ يعني it is not made for residence for people, but commercial places like rest areas or a coffee shop or a place like that. You're not going to seek permission. Say, Assalamu alaikum, owner of the store, can I enter? Do that. Well, that also can be assumed. يعني if it's a property, right? You have to seek permission to enter, unless they allow you to enter at any time. يعني some places like rest areas, some places like there is a shade to shade yourself from heat or from rain. Some places they used to have for animals, some places stables, rest areas or gas stations or something like that. You don't have to seek permission to enter, because the whole idea of it is people can access anytime they want. So Allah knows what you hide in your intentions and what you show. And when you come to me, visit me, what I see in front of me is like somebody coming to visit me for the sake of Allah. Is that your intention though? I don't know. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, you have to work on your intention, because Allah knows. Allah knows why you are sitting here to learn. Allah knows why I'm sitting here to teach. Correct? So it's kind of like a little bit a hint or a warning, yani. Be very, very important. Be aware that it is very important of those seeking permissions and all of that. The reason of the revelation of this ayah called أسباب النزول. أسباب النزول. The reason of revelation. I want you to understand one thing, that in the science of علوم القرآن والتفسير, the word sabab means reason or cause. Okay? But in علوم القرآن is not used that literal meaning. Because people think sabab al-nuzul, يعني because of this reason the ayah was revealed. طبعا there is an usuli issue will be based on that. We don't want to delve into this because it will be confusing at this level. What is the reason, specific reason? The ayah is meant for the specific reason, or it is meant for the general application? Because if you say the reason means the cause of the revelation of the ayah, yani this is why this ayah was revealed. So was this ayah only to answer that specific incident and khalas? Or this ayah is to any incident that happens similar to that? And you have to have a proof for this. That's why sabab al-nuzul is not only the cause of the ayah. Sabab al-nuzul is the the incident that happened at the time of the revelation of that ayah. ماشي. يعني الله عز وجل said ألم ترى كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الإيه فيل. Right? You cannot say the reason of the revelation of this ayah is the army that tried to destroy the Kaaba, because that happened like 40 plus years before. Cannot say the reason of the revelation. And this ayah is talking about a story that happened before. Talking about the story of Musa. Turn your mics off, please. يعني عجيب والله هذا الأمر يعني. I did not do. As I told you, this is not only my issue, this is the issue of all the mashayikh. The mashayikh are pulling their hair from their head يعني, all over the internet, because of students not paying attention, and they keep their mics open when the sheikh keeps saying, turn your mics off, turn your mics off. It's like يعني, turn your phone off for salah in the masjid, and somebody phone will ring. مشكلة فتنة like فتنة الدجال كده يعني. الله المستعان. The reason of the revelation is when what happened when that ayah was revealed. That's what they mean. Yani. It's not a literal meaning that this necessarily the cause. Okay. So this ayah was revealed after a woman came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, woman from Al-Ansar, and she said, Ya Rasulullah, I stay in my house. Sometimes family members of my husband and people who are not mahram, they enter the house. It's very hard for me to keep changing all the time and staying, like this. Sometimes, I'm staying home comfortable and somebody just comes in and I'm not expecting a who. But this ayah was revealed. There was no stay-adhan before. You can open the curtain and enter. Now women have to be like in a certain section in the house and more restrictive. Yeah. Because if my house, anybody can enter at any time, what would I say to my wife? Stay with your outside clothes in the house all the time. يعني, how are we going to solve this problem, right? So she stays formal all the time, and this is not right, and this is inconvenient for her. And you cannot tell the people, don't come and visit me unless you tell me. And there was no sharia in that. Subhanallah, Allah Azza wa Jal wants us to appreciate the sharia. And you see the point here, appreciate sharia. Sometimes said, why I have to seek permission on my cousins? Why I have to seek permission on my brother's house? في ناس كده يعني. Some people like that in all different cultures. Why I seek permission on my son's house? لا, you seek permission. You do seek permission. That's why one person said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm the only son and I live with my mother and nobody is serving her except myself. Do I seek permission before I enter? I said, do you want to see your mother naked without clothing? He said, no. He said, then you seek permission. Some people ask Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, Al-Hamu, yani the brother-in-law. Yani my wife, this is my brother. Can my brother enter to my house without permission, or I enter his house without permission? He said, Al-Hamu al-Maut. If you want death to enter your house, then allow your brother to enter your house. And people would not digest that, but yeah, your brother is your brother. You will die for your brother and he will die for you. That's understood. But that is a hukum. الحكم, you do not use your mind in it. يعني. Too much. It is a hukum for the ummah, for every single human being. It doesn't matter how angelic you are or a satanic another person. Hukum applies across the board. Is that clear? Hukum applies across the board. So don't try to maneuver around. Because if I make exception for you, then somebody come with another reason on the exception, another reason on the exception. So why you have the hukum to start with? Hukum is to be applied against your will. Whether you like it, you don't like it, makes you comfortable, makes you uncomfortable, الحكم موجود. ونحكم بينهم بما أنزل الله ولا تتبع أهواءهم. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, don't follow the people's desires. Don't follow people's desires. Make hukum with what Allah revealed to you. So if Allah says you seek permission, you seek permission. People say, we don't want to see you now. Says, okay, I'll see you later, inshallah. Take it easy, يعني. Don't. This ayah was revealed because of that. و the other ayah about the rest areas and all that. When this ayah about seeking permission to houses. So everybody thought that any property, this will apply. But you say, this is my house, and this is my house, this is my house, and they mean sometimes you do business, sometimes people visit you. I used to have a house. It's a house and everything, but it's like a school. Yes, I make it like a school. Remember the house in the woodlands? That was like a school. Is it treated exactly like I have a house? No. That is the idea. If I have a class from 7 to 8, and all the student comes in, they don't have to knock the door or ring the bell. They can enter. That's why the other ayah came. There is no restriction on you to enter houses that you have some benefit in it, whether it is like public or it is open to public for a certain time. Like they say, this store is open for the public at that time. So public can see permission except in that time. It's like Easy Tag tollway when they opened it. They said for like 1 week it is free. So everybody doesn't have permission now. Doesn't need to, everybody have open permission. But when they say there is no entrance without an Easy Tag, what does that mean? Restriction now. If you enter without it, there is violation. Same concept here. Same concept. But not the masjid, not the hospital, not anywhere, any. That's why Sayyidina Abu Bakr told the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, there are tujjar, there are merchants between Mecca and Medina. Yani we have houses between Mecca and Medina. I'm from Medina and I go to Mecca, people from Mecca go to Medina, but they have rest houses in the road for them and for others. Business. Yani you open a gas station in the freeway and you have some residents beside it. Anybody comes in, you give the key for the bathroom or for the room or for that used to be. You are not going to seek permission if it is open for the public. You only seek permission if you are restricted or it is a private property. That's why, subhanAllah, in America, he said private property, no trespassing. Because people see a certain land or a certain area, they think it is what? Public. So they put that. Otherwise, if the house have doors and everything, khalas, you are forced not to enter without permission. Otherwise, they call it what here? Trespassing. And in Texas, mashallah, you are in big trouble. What is the relationship between this ayah and the verses before? The verses before is about accusing the chaste men and women with adultery. Yes. And what is the impact on that? And what are the detrimental effect on the society? And this ayah is talking about what? Seeking permission. Both talking about reputation and privacy. Reputation is connected to what? Privacy. And if you enter somebody's house without permission, you may actually see what you don't like. So it is better to stay ignorant in this case than knowing something that you shouldn't know. صح. That's why they said you cannot unsee what you see. Can't unsee. You can stop yourself from seeing it before. But I saw you now, I cannot unsee that. I can stop myself from looking what is behind that curtain. But if Muhammad now opens the curtain like this, can I unsee this? No. So that's why it is hidden. Like the reputation of people are hidden. You accuse them with adultery, you expose them. You enter a house without permission, you are also exposing. But that's the similarity. The etiquettes here tells you how Islam, Allah Azza wa Jalla is the one who knows. So He gives you the etiquettes that fits you in different situations. Allah protects other people's reputation from you, but Allah protects your privacy from them. Same thing. You're sitting in your house, yes, Allah will account you if you do something bad, Allah will reward you if you do something good. But do people have the right to know what you're doing? No. Same thing like I have the right and you have the duty to protect my reputation. Cannot talk about my honor and reputation and morality without need and without proof and witnesses. You can't. You're not allowed. You're not allowed. Violating that is a bad thing. No. Also, that if somebody enter a house without permission, there is a woman inside, alone by herself. She comes out and she sees a man there waiting for her husband, or he did not know there is a woman there, and she did not know there is a man outside, right? Now she comes out with house clothing or something like that, and at that time the husband enters, or the father enters, or does what they assume. Again, why you have to explain something you don't have to explain. Don't put yourself in the areas of doubt. Don't put yourself in the areas of doubt. That's not right. Okay? So people said, I was in that place because, it's not what you understand. So why you put yourself in a place that makes me misunderstand? Don't. Okay? And I should not also come and enter places without permission. So I put myself also in that position to doubt you. That goes both ways. All of this, still we are with social protection from Rabb al-Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything we talk about in Surah An-Nur, I want you to think about it from this physical perspective. Think from it from psychological perspective. Think about it from social perspective. How social is this applies to one person only or applies to the whole town? Whole town. So now the whole town follow the same rule. Do you think they feel safe or not? And if the whole town knows the rule of Allah that nobody will enter anybody's house without a permission. So I know I have to seek permission. I know every single person in town seek permission. So all of us already have a code. Much easier now. So you look to anybody violating that as a violator, and there is a punishment for it. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said if anybody peeks into anybody's house without asking the permission to enter or anything like that, and that person has a piece of iron or a rod, and he punctured his eye, he would not pay anything for him. No diya, yani. And if somebody punctured anybody's eye, he has to pay, or will be done to him, like we're reciting in the salah. النفس بالنفس والعين بالعين والأنف بالأنف والأذن بالأذن والسن بالسن. Break somebody's tooth, they have to break one tooth for you. You cut somebody's ear, like Mike Tyson, yani, if this was like an Islamic thing, they would have to cut his ear. Except if the other guy forgive. Foreman, his name, what's his name? He bit his ear. You don't know? لا حول ولا قوة. Huh? George Foreman. Yeah. He bit his. No, it's not George Foreman. It's another guy. They made up later, and became very good. But in the fight, he bit part of his ear. He cut part of it, and he spit it. So Islamically speaking, and Islamic Sharia, he will be brought to justice if he said, I want the same to happen to him. Not he cuts it, but the authorities will cut that part like him. Or he says, I want money compensation. By the way, every part of your body has a price on it in Islam. And if somebody kills somebody, this is like 100 camels. But if they cut a hand, this is like 20 camels. If they do this, it's 10 camels. If they do this, is 1 camel, like that. For every part of the body, it's not like a sale, but it is more of a financial compensation. So you don't lose the part and lose money as well. If somebody pokes that one person who's peeking through the door or through the curtain, and somebody punctured and they killed them, or they don't pay anything because they violated. You see how the deen of the Islam, they have violated. So if I know that I'm not allowed to violate, I know that nobody's allowed to violate me either. يعني when Allah told you not to steal, He prevented everybody from putting their hand in their pocket as well. So don't feel restricted like, "Oh, why this, why this, why that?" That's why we tell people the rules of Islam applies to everybody. There is no exception. يعني if it sounds harsh, it's harsh on everybody. So they do not violate you. Otherwise, if it is easy, people will think about it. If your life is easy, people get life sentence only. People will kill a lot. I get life sentence only. I'll go eat and drink and get educated and have free health care in the jail. I cost the country $100,000 per year. Every inmate in the United States costs the country $100,000 per year. Very good life. You don't have to pay bills. You don't have to pay taxes. You'll eat for free. You'll exercise for free. You can have a PhD inside. No problem. But you killed the person that you didn't like because there is no life and there is no death sentence. If there is death sentence, then everybody feels safer because anybody will do that. They'll be executed as well. Right? So my family feels safe after that. People feel safe. But it is social. We always look to every ayah in the Quran, and especially in Surah An-Nur. That's an individual. Allah protects your honor, but He protects everyone else. Protects your sister and your mother and your daughter and your wife, and protects everybody's mother and sister and daughter and wife from you, and He protects you from everybody else as well. Yeah. Subhanallah, this discipline is very civil. This is like ideal. If these etiquettes are taken and compared to any first world country, you find that this is bar none. This is the best, right? Because people in the West, their morality is more of a personal deal, correct? The morality is what? Personal choices. Personal choices. That's why in the Amja conference, one of the sheikhs submitted the paper about marital infidelity. Marital infidelity. We know what that means, right? Said that's not an Islamic concept. Called what? Marital ايه؟ infidelity. Why it's not an Islamic? خيانة الزوجية يعني. يعني marital betrayal. That means you betraying the institution of marriage. Correct? They said, why? I said, okay, I'll tell you why. What if the both of them agree? يعني if the husband and wife both agree to have extramarital affairs, is it called a marital infidelity? It's not. Right? If they both agree to commit zina يعني, extracurricular activity, and both they know, or one of them allow the other, and it happens here in the United States. It does. Whatever يعني. Either she knows or he knows, or both of them know and let it go, or both of them had an agreement. Lots of sick people here. Yeah. They have something called open relationship. Open relationship. Would that become marital infidelity? The answer is no. Right? What if of this same act of zina happens out of the marriage? It doesn't have a name. Boyfriend, girlfriend, everybody knows. The man gives his daughter as girlfriend to somebody, no problem. He knows that they are sleeping together and he doesn't matter. He's proud. Isn't that the culture? And some parents, even when the girl is 16 and she doesn't have a boyfriend, that means she's a problem, They'll take her to a therapist or something. I cannot say marital infidelity. There is no such a thing in Islam. It is religious infidelity. You are making khiyana, your covenant with Allah, regardless of the person. Much better, right? Correct? So when I marry someone, I know that someone fears Allah, so they will protect my honor, and I fear Allah, so I protect their honor. It's not because I'm afraid of them. Yeah, if people go cheat, as long as they can get away with it. But if you marry someone who fears Allah Azza wa Jal, you are safer with that person. And if they do something, it's a mistake. It's not like a moral definition. Yeah. So the idea here, Allah is talking about zina, adultery, whoever accused somebody with adultery, a specific crime يعني. Its social implications doesn't matter now. The person is married, then we have it like this. The woman is married is like that. في لعان, في this وفي that, but the crime is the same across the board. Punishment may be different, but it is frowned upon. It is a major sin regardless. You are married or you are not married. You are this or you are that. Your spouse is satisfying you or not. It does not matter. You are not allowed to do this, period. يعني no excuse. Here people might say, oh, I'm sorry because you're absent, you're this, you're that, and oh, because you know I missed you and I didn't find anything. Okay, I forgive you. What? Like, it is a personal deal. And morality is a personal deal. It's not in Islam. Morality is not your definition. Doesn't matter what you like or dislike. Allah said, هذه العلاقة حرام حرام. خلاص حرام. So there is no such a thing called marital infidelity in Islam. كان الزوجية هذا مصطلح غير يعني شرعي. خان الله خلاص. Betrayed. Major sin, disobedience of Allah. Right? طبعا there is a human right in it. If the woman does it, she's betraying her husband's authority. If the man is doing, is betraying the marriage. But that's not the main classification. It's classified as a disobedience of Allah Azza wa Jal, and it is have social implications, social negative implication on the society. Now people are not safe. Now nobody's honor is and reputation is safe. Everybody's afraid of this to happen to his wife or his daughter and everything. Then nobody trusts anybody, and it becomes a problem, a big problem. So that is the social implications of that problem. To understand the permission. If you knock on the house, if this is the way you do it. They used to have those little tiny things to knock on those flapping things before. And now you have the bill. Now you have the phone. You have the camera. Whatever you seek permission with, you seek permission with. But the sunnah is to, seek permission and do it from the inside to say who. Then you should say your name. Don't say Ana. يعني in our country, I don't know what about Urdu. When he said, it's me. It's you. When the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam one time he said, who's in the door? He said, Ana. قال أنا. Man Ana. Who's that Ana? What's your name is Ana? He didn't like it, يعني. And you seek permission 3 times. After 3 times, you should leave. When you come in the house, this is the door here. Also, they say don't stand right in the middle, because maybe when the door is open, you see something in the corner you shouldn't see. So you sit on this side or on this side, or stay a little bit further from the house if you can. Yani keep a distance. Don't come like close to the door like this. And once they open the door, you see what is inside. لا يصح. So you seek the permission. Right. Assalamu alaikum. أدخل? Can I come in? Nobody answered. You wait. Assalamu alaikum. May I come in? 2 times. Somebody answers. Who? Mamduh. That's the sunnah. Huh? I am Fadilat al-Sheikh al-Imam al-Doktor Mamduh. No. Shouldn't do that. Don't say your name. Right? Mamduh who? Mamduh Mustafa. I am the Imam of the Masjid. Now you introduce yourself. Right? And then you enter. If not, then the 3rd time. And make it like in a way that people can hear you. If you know that the door is big or something like that, you can look harder. But some people, subhanAllah, they come and they break the door. Or they like the ringing the bell, they intimidate you. Yeah. Unless you're joking and you know the family, that's okay. Yani, this is my family and they know when I do that, oh, dad is here, خلاص, no issue. Yani. Fi code. Like I tell my children, if I knock in a certain knock, you know this me. Yani. They know that. Now nobody answered after the 3rd, tawakkal ala Allah. Leave. The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself, it happened. He come and ask. طبعا there is no door means there is a curtain means your استئذان is your voice only. If there is a door you knock, you knock. If there is a bell you ring, you ring. But if there is none curtain, what are you going to do يعني? Flap the curtain? You're going to say Assalamu alaikum. May I come in? They did not answer for النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. صوت النبي معروف. And the voice of the Prophet is well known. Well known صلى الله عليه وسلم from a million places يعني. A million people. Then he said it again. Assalamu alaikum. أدخل? Nobody answered. The third time they answered. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, why did not open the first time? Said, Ya Rasulullah, we heard you the first time. We heard you the second time. But we wanted your salam to give the blessing in the house. Because the Prophet said, may the peace be unto you. We wanted to hear it 3 times. Smart, right? I would do that. If the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is there, you want his blessing. He's inside the house. You want him to drink from every cup and eat from every plate. Yes. Greed, greed. That's only for him, not for anyone else. They, subhanAllah, smart Sahaba. Nabi said, Salam of Allah means the peace of Allah will come in this house. So they wanted to hear it 3 times. But Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam smiled, did his job, what he went over there for. So that is 3 times. If the culture says 2 times, if the culture says 4 times, then you do. Sometimes they said put 3 rings, and then it goes to the voicemail or not. 4 rings, it goes to the voicemail. So that's but Sunnah 3. Mandub Sunnah is 3. That's what I said. The Asbab al-Nuzul is like when the woman said, Ya Rasulullah, I am in my house and people enter without permission. And sometimes I'm uncomfortable for that. So the verse of seeking permission to enter the house. Then Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, Ya Rasulullah, what about the commercial properties that we have? He said, no, you can enter them. The next ayah came because of that. And but this applies to everything else. It came within that context. Maybe that is the reason that brought the ayah down, but it does not only stick to that reason. Istizan is in everywhere. There is narrated in Muwatta al-Imam Malik and Musnad Ahmad, Bukhari and Muslim أيضا, hadith Abu Musa al-Ash'ari wa Abu Sa'id, that Abu Musa al-Ash'ari sought permission to enter Umar's place, Umar radiallahu anhu, house. So nobody answered him. So he left. Then Umar came out from wherever he was. He said, I heard the voice of Abu Musa. Why did not allow him in? They said, he left already. He said, go get him. Right? Because he heard him 3 times. He said he assumed that after the 3rd they admit him. But he left what is in his hand and came to see. But he could not find. He said, I heard the voice of Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, Abdullah ibn Qais. His name is Abdullah ibn Qais al-Ash'ari. They said that he left, so he said to go get him. So they brought him. He told them, why did you leave? قال ما أرجعك. Why you didn't wait until I come out? He said, I asked 3 times and I did not hear permission, so I left because I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam if one of you ask permission 3 times and he did not give him permission, let him leave. So there is a hadith about that. They say, the ulama said, okay, is both permission and salam are wajib or not? Al-wajib, permission. Salam, preferable. But salam, you say, Assalamu alaikum. You don't say, come say, adkhul. Of course you're going to say salam, Like salam in everywhere. Salam is mandub, sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it is wajib to seek the permission. It's wajib to get the permission. It would be a violation to enter without permission, but it is not a sin if you don't say salam. Okay? Um, أيضا they said is it واجب to do 3 times؟ لا، هو واجب is to ask him permission 1 time and you can wait there if they admit you. ماشي. But 3 times is also preferable in the sunnah. The majority of the scholars said you say salam first. Say salam first. صحيح في سنن الترمذي حديث جابر قال السلام قبل الكلام. Before you talk with each other, you should say salam to each other. Those are some narrations about it. The hikmah, as we said, is to avoid seeing awrah. Is avoid to see the awrah of someone. When Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told the people to step on the side, he said that permission is not to see. No, you are seeing. يعني you are, يعني this is an opening in the curtain here. I don't come here and they say, "Assalamu alaikum, can I enter?" And you are already looking inside. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said permission is to avoid that. And you already made it, يعني. So don't come like sometimes the door is a little bit open. We leave the door a little bit open to circulate the air or something like that. So you do not come in the opening, and because people see the door open, that means it's like an invitation to enter. يعني. A door open, you should avoid the opening. I hope this etiquette is clear because some people they think you leave the door open, so I enter. لا, leave the door open, that's my choice. Yeah. You do not look inside. When Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, if a person look at you without permission and you throw a stone in his eyes and you blinded him, there is nothing on you. يعني also that Abu Sa'id al-Khudri one time came and sought permission while he is facing the exact curtain يعني on the door of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Said, don't seek permission when you are in the middle like this. Take this side or that side. Right. What if the person seeking permission is blind? Still he seeks permission. لأن بعض العورات تدرك بالسمع. يعني sometimes people are talking in a way that they don't want people to hear, not necessarily only to see. يعني a man and his woman sitting and whispering in each other's ear. واحد blind, their ear sharp, ما شاء الله, their hearing is very sharp. And they come and they hear a secret or they hear somebody saying something. If you close to the door and somebody talking behind the door, you're going to hear them. But that's awra too. يعني awra is not only what you see with your eye, to hear what you're not supposed to hear. See, fiqh is very important to understand. يعني. There is no difference in seeking the permission في women and men. يعني if a woman wants to enter, she seeks permission. If a man wants to enter, he seeks permission. Even if it is your father or your son visiting you. That's why even if you visiting your father, they have a separate house. So if you live in the same house and you have different keys and all that, ففي general permission here. Only الاستئذان would be on the rooms. But the house, I give my key to my children and I have the key so that we're not going to seek permission on each other every time to wait. Yeah. But if I'm visiting my dad and he lives in a separate house, or my dad is visiting me, he will seek permission before he enters. Because I don't know. Yeah, if I know my dad is there, of course I'm going to go open for him and receive him. Yeah. If I don't know, if I'm just coming, but I don't know if he is my dad or not. Now, how I receive him, there's another story. Yeah. How I receive, how I open the door, how I welcome him, and I run to him, that's ماشي. But we are talking about the step, يعني, the process. But there is no difference between mahram or non-mahram in the issue of seeking permission to enter the house. Okay? But the man, he said, did I seek permission of my mother? He said, you would like to see her naked. يعني. She lives in a house by herself and I'm the one who go serve her. He said, no, you have to seek permission. عبد الله بن مسعود said يعني عليكم أن تستأذنوا أمهاتكم وأخواتكم. You have to seek permission of your sisters and your mothers. وone of the تابعين طاووس بن كيسان قال يعني ما من امرأة أكره إلي أن أرى عورتها من ذات محرم. He said يعني no woman I dislike to see her عورة worse than my محرم. It's not like my محرم يعني I have better access يعني or it's okay to access. لا, that's worse than a stranger woman يعني. المحرم is like your blood يعني relative. When you see their عورة it is like harsh now, you know. We're not saying stranger is okay يعني. But stranger is stranger. You خلاص يعني you avoid and you can avoid that person for life. You don't see them again. But your محرم يعني استئذان within the house itself also is gonna come inshallah. Like the children, everybody have to seek permission from their parents. Allah Azza wa Jalla did not distinguish between mahram or non-mahram, man or woman. Everybody seek permission on everybody, right? Except between husband and wife. فخلاص يعني. This is different. يعني intimacy between husband and wife does not have a limit. You know, you're intimate with your father, with your mother, but there is a limit. There is a limit on sexuality. There is a limit on physical contact. There is a limit. يعني any man with any woman, it does not mean her mahram. There is a stop line. يعني. But the wife gives the man what his mother or his sister or his daughter can give him, cannot give him. She would give him that. And the man gives his wife what her father, what her brother, what her son cannot give her. Right? That's why between them the rule is different. It is like, you know, this accusation of adultery, the rule between husband and wife is also different. There is no other relationship like the relationship of marriage. None, zero. There is no relationship. See, the closest is the son to his mother, right? But once that son is older, she cannot see him naked, he cannot see her naked. Daughter can be as close as she is to her father. That's it, right? But no relationship is like the relationship between husband and wife. That's why the status of the husband, the wife, and all of that prescribed based on that. Yeah. But people take things out of context. You know, the rule of the husband, Allah Azza wa Jalla assigned to him, makes the wife obligated to treat him in a certain way. And the rule that Allah assigned the wife make her husband obligated to treat her in a certain way. People forgot about Allah, forgot about the role assigned, and they started deciding why you're treating me like this and why you are not treating me like that. And this is where we are all lost. I hope you understand that because it's very important. This is the issue of all sins, of all problems, of all misunderstanding. When the husband and wife, they both disregard that the source is who? Is Allah Azza wa Jal. That's number one. Number two, they both disregard that there is a role assigned by Allah Azza wa Jal, according to which each one of them obligated to deal in a certain way and a certain way only. But it's coming because of the role that Allah assigned. So if you do not believe in the role and you do not believe that Allah assigned, of course we're going to have a problem. Absolutely, we're going to have a problem. The idea is very simple, but Shaitan makes it very complicated. Yeah, it's very complicated. طيب وإن قيل لكم ارجعوا فارجعوا أزكى لكم. We said that like that. Second ayah is specifying the first ayah. First ayah is about private residence. Second ayah is more of a commercial residence that everybody have benefit to enter. So the hukm here applies except to that. And that's in fiqh. When you read tafsir, you have to understand these rules of al-mutlaq, wal-muqayyad, wal-aam, wal-khas, conditional or unconditional, general and private, you know, specific. Sometimes you say, didn't Allah say that in the Quran? Yes, I know that Allah said that in the Quran. But there is another verse excluding what your situation from this. Yani, didn't Allah said you seek permission regardless any building that has a door that you seek permission? I said yes. But Allah said unless there is a commercial place. So why didn't you read that ayah? Most of the time, lay people, that's the mistake they do. And not only in the Quran. Sometimes there is a verse in the Quran in general, is general, but a hadith makes it what? Specific. And sometimes a hadith is general and the verse makes it what? Specific. And sometimes the rule is not mentioned in Quran at all. Both general and specific in the Sunnah. So يعني you have to know both. You have to know both. Allah يعلم ما تبدون وما تكتمون. See, that is the spiritual aspect, like the closing of the ayahs. All of this is just the overt part, the physical seen aspect. But Allah also knows what is in your hearts. See the threat there? The poking? يعني Allah knows your intentions. Why are you coming to visit this person? Why are you coming to that house? الله يعلم ما تبدون وما تكتمون. We talked about the general, but Allah knows why you are here. So be careful of that intention as well. You're visiting somebody for the sake of Allah, or you go there because you want to see their sister or their daughter. Or sometimes, this is the عايز ايه يعني? Sometimes people going there for the wrong reason. They want to know their secret. They want to know something. They want to know what happened, who's sick, who's not sick, who's eating, what they're doing. Well, that is sometimes, you sought permission before you enter the house. But now you're not controlled. Your eyes everywhere in the house. And you're asking questions that's not of your concern. Right? And you're putting your nose in everything. Allah knows what's your intention to come there. So we understand from these three verses that you do not enter people's houses without permission, and this is a must, and without salam, and this is preference. Salam is preference. Salam comes before. Assalamu alaikum. May I enter? Like that. Assalamu alaikum. أدخل. And it is sunnah to do 3 times. It doesn't matter it's a man or a woman, mahram or al-mahram, blind or seeing. If you are permitted to enter, enter. If you are not permitted to enter, leave. If you are told to leave, leave. That's very simple. And it is not good to increase more than 3 unless you know that the tradition or the urf or culture says okay, custom. It's okay to do 4 or 5 or wait 10 minutes before you leave. Or whatever it is. And sometimes we are not close to the door. Please give 5 minutes from the time you ring the bell. ممكن. And it can be a custom like that. I'm just giving you example. I don't know exactly, but I'm just giving an example. All right. Now, you ring the bell, you don't have to say those things. You just ring the bell because now the houses are big. Sometimes people living in 2nd floor, sometimes they're living in an apartment building in the 17th floor. How are we going to shout for them? But there is a bell. They said, who is it? You have to say your name, introduce yourself. Then according to the custom also what to say and what not to say. طيب, do you enter, when you enter your house, when you enter your house and there is nobody there, what do you say? Your house. Your house. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillah as-salih. Like you say in the in the salah. The angels, the jinn, you say Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillah. You make salam on yourself. And ibadillah as-salih. Even though you are 100% sure nobody is in the house but you. That's good, right? طيب. بعد ذلك Allah Azza wa Jalla said to the believer men and women some of the ahkam of looking and ahkam of hijab as well. Inshallah we'll say it in general today and we'll go more specific because it's more details. قل للمؤمنين يغضوا من أبصارهم ويحفظوا فروجهم ذلك أزكى لهم إن الله خبير بما يصنعون. say to the believer men. Why I say believer men here? When mu'mineen came many verses, we say to the believers only, men and women. Why I say to the believer men here? Why did I say that? Allah said, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يغضوا من أبصارهم ويحفظوا فروجهم. Because the next ayah is قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. So there is a separation here between men and women. So that's why in the tafsir, I know what is coming in the next ayah. So this ayah specifically talking to men. But if there is no specific hukm for women, the hukm applies for both men and women. خلاص؟ قل للمؤمنين يغضوا من أبصارهم. To lower from their gaze. يعني the word lowering the gaze is not an accurate translation. It's men. Men يعني from. Otherwise you're going to close your eyes. Lower your gaze يعني you drive like this. How I'm going to lower my gaze? Huh? يعني what if I'm driving and suddenly there is a pact of women in front of me and they're crossing or something like that? I have to, as much as you can يعني what you can do without inflicting harm on yourself or others. Is that clear? فيغضوا من أبصارهم من أبصارهم. سبحان الله, رحمة from Allah عز وجل. يعني move it away. Otherwise you sometimes it's hard. Sometimes if you're driving and somebody crossing, you want to see them crossing. You want, like otherwise it's going to become a problem, ويحفظوا فروجهم. See what is next? And preserve their private parts. طبعا between the look and the zina is a long distance here. يعني it is not like every man or every woman looking at each other, they end up committing zina in the next scene يعني. Right? It's not like a movie كده يعني like look and zina. It's not like that. But this leads to that. Even in some cases, if you allow it to move forward, then it's a problem. That's why Allah Azza wa Jalla told us to control what is easy to be controlled before it's out of your hand. Because the eye, they said نظرة فابتسامة فهمسة فلمسة فموعد فلقاء. يعني they said an eye, look, then a smile, then it is a whisper, then it is a touch, then it is a date. Then they meet. يعني this is what is the major sin right here, at the end here. Right? But the gaze here is the door, the gate. You may enter, you may not enter. Most of the people will not enter. That's okay. But because of some people may enter, Allah make it very restrictive on everybody. So sometimes people say, why is a look? Why Islam is like making a restriction? It's no problem, boys and girls meet in the university and college and all of that. He said that's the problem. When you overlook one, you see now it's mixing is no problem. Before, looking was a problem. Before, a man cannot see a woman before they get married. All traditions, yeah. An Islamic exemption that you can see before you get married. You see? So now seeing, it is out of that's why people said seeing what, Sheikh? The people come and talk and high five each other. Are you kidding? Sahih. And this is what is happening. Well, that is exactly why Allah make lowering the gaze, making looking haram from the beginning. It may not have that impact in itself, but you take it easy, you go to the next step. You take it easy, you go to the next step until Rasulullah ﷺ said the day of judgment will not come until people commit adultery on the main streets. Main streets. يتسافدون تسافد الحمر, like donkeys on each other. In the open streets. على قارعة الطريق. يعني imagine كده you're driving on the freeway and you see people doing it on the sides. And it is happening now. يعني it's not like something, and it happens. You go to Mardi Gras or this things, people in the street. يعني beside nightclubs and all of that. Rasul said the most pious person at that time is the one who tell them take it to the back alley or something. Don't do That is the most pious guy at that time. He's not telling them not to stop, to stop, not telling them to stop. No, he's telling them on the side. You can continue, but on the side. Why led to this? Because of that. I hope I'm clear in this. So Islam is very restrictive from where? So when Islam tells the woman wear hijab, don't look at restricting your freedom and it is hot and it is this. Don't look to that. Now you are making yourself again the criteria. You are seeing your reaction to it, the physical reaction to it. That look to the social benefit, look to the psychological benefit, look to the spiritual connection with Allah. Allah is the one who created you, and Allah is the one who said that. Yeah, it makes you uncomfortable. Waking for Fajr makes you uncomfortable. Coming to the masjid makes you uncomfortable. Fasting Ramadan is uncomfortable. When you go to Hajj and Umrah, are you comfortable? Making tawaf and sa'i? No. So basically, most of the Sharia rules is not about comfort. It is actually about you being out of your comfort zone. Actually, it's about that. It is about you not being comfortable. So in Akhirah, you become comfortable. And you become comfortable as a member of the society. See, you might not be comfortable individually. You are dressed like this and your freedom is restricted. But the whole society is comfortable and you should feel safe. If you think like that, then you have izzah. Thank you, Allah, for giving me this. Yes, it is hot. Yes, it is troubling. Yes, I'm hungry in Ramadan. Yes, I'm thirsty. But for the sake of Allah, I am happy that I'm doing it. It's like a student happy to study hard and taking away from his time and effort and everything. But once they see the result, they forget all the problems. Right? Subhanallah. Whenever I see a sister with hijab, when I see a sister with hijab, anywhere in the world, I feel in my heart that I'm a Muslim. Right there is a reminder that I'm a Muslim. Like whenever you see a Muslim, you can identify a person as a Muslim, you feel safe right away. I was in transit in Paris, France. First time I go, and I didn't go out before. So I went out because I missed the flight. So I went out for 1 day. And then I went to a hotel close to the airport. Then after that, I said I wanted to see the city. It was about an hour drive, Paris. So I took an Uber and I went to the city. And I walk, and I'm feeling like a stranger. Even though I live in the West, I live in America. But you feel this like, I don't know what to look for. Or I just, sometimes the best thing is to get lost. Sometimes when I go to a city that I don't know, I want to be lost in it. And this is an advice for you. And when you become a seasoned traveler, you just walk in places that you get lost. I don't say, oh, I came from this street, I need to go back again. I came on Uber and I'm in the middle of Paris. Alas, walk anywhere. Whenever I find, I have to take another Uber somewhere. When I'm walking like this, I found like a store there, and the guy with the beard there, he looks like a Bangladeshi Pakistani brother. Salam. I felt like I'm safe now. Well, I can Google everything, right? But I wanted to be lost. But I saw this man and I entered there and said, Salam alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. Yeah, salam. I felt, khalas, I'm home now. And I spoke English to him. He speaks broken English. Very good. I tell him, where is the masjid? He tells me there is the masjid. I can Google, But he said, the masjid there, and there's a restaurant there, and there's a, subhanallah, ya akhi. You feel you belong. Correct? One man. Give it a chance. When I'm going to Jum'ah in the Islamic Center of Paris, and you see like a half mile away from the masjid, the Muslims are going from everywhere. The sister is wearing hijab and everything. And I tell the sisters all the time, look to these things. Whenever you are deterred or you find in yourself restriction individually, look to the benefit socially. Believe me, wallahi, you do not know how many men will feel safe because of your hijab. Trust me. I am the man telling you. When you see a sister over there, you feel good and you want to protect this woman. Like, I wish any sister walking with hijab, sister, can I help you with something? I wish I can do that, yeah, everywhere. I'm happy. But if a woman without hijab, how do I know that she's Muslim or not Muslim? How would you know? صحيح يعني. يعني how would you know that a person is a Muslim or not a Muslim? Through their looks, maybe. But a woman, normally a woman without hijab will not look like a Muslim. Because what is the default of non-hijab? Non-Muslim. What is the default with hijab is Muslim. And when you're hijab, the odds of you being a Muslim like 100%. بلاش 100%, 99%. There's Orthodox Jews wear hijab like that. There are nuns, but nuns have difference also in their hijab. But a Muslimah wearing hijab, يعني خلاص, you will not mistake that one. But you can mistake a guy with a beard. Correct? There are lots of people who look very Muslim, but they're not Muslim because of the beard. The Amish people, they shave their mustache and like me كده يعني. But they are not Muslim. And so on. فالله عز وجل tell the believers, lower their gaze, preserve their private parts. This is purer for them, and Allah knows what they do. And they tell the believing women to lower their gaze as well and preserve their private parts, preserve their chastity, and do not show their zina. Men don't have a zina to show, so that's why the ayah of the women are more detailed. Don't show their zina except what normally shows. We'll talk about that next time. And then wear their khimar in a certain way. We will talk about what khimar here means, what jiyub means. Jiyub is not the pocket, because in Arab, now they said jayb means what? The pocket. This is the jayb. This is not a jayb. This is the jayb. This here is like this. This is the jayb. That's called what? The jayb. Jayb موضع إدخال الرأس. It is where you put your headphone. So when Allah said, let the women put their khimar over their jiyub, يعني إيه؟ يعني the khimar has to come from the head down on their chest. Jiyub. So if the jayb is until here, then the khimar should be until here. We'll talk about that, inshallah, in specific. And what they need to show there, or what they are allowed to show their zina, about their hijab, who in front of who. Allah mentioned those categories. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who listen for the best of what they listen to. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. So we stopped at verse 30, inshallah. Start from verse 30 next time. Jazakumullahu khairan. And forgive me, my sisters and my brothers. Sometimes I become mean. Forgive me. And when I'm in the class, I heard from my shuyukh worse than that. Sometimes they will make you hate yourself and I feel very guilty. But that's out of love, not out to intimidate anybody or single out anybody. But inshallah Rabbil Alameen, وذكر فإن الذكرى تنفع المؤمنين. Remind, there's a good reminder is good for the believers. And if I'm harsh on you now and it leads for you not to do something not right, it's good, inshallah. But forgive me if I made anybody feel uncomfortable. جزاكم الله خيرا.